It's me, Jessica. Oops. And I'm here today to guide you through your yin yoga practice. We've got about 1 minute till we get started. We're going to get started on the back of our mats in child's pose. So feel free to use props. I recommend bringing along a pillow or two, maybe a folded up blanket, a block. Oh, Fred, that was a good peanut you just wasted. We're going to get started at the back of our mats in child's pose in just about 1 minute. Gosh, pardon me. I'm going back into an office today, you guys. And I thought I was ready. And of course, I'm like, totally not ready. What's happening, world? Oh my gosh, I'm ready for this though. This is one thing I definitely need. Okay, so thank you for coming. Let's come to the back of the mat towel space. And relax into your child's pose. You're going to stay here in child's pose for just about 3 minutes. I'll go back. That's not even the good part of the peanut. That's just the shell. You don't want that. All right, just about 3 minutes starting. What's happening? In child's pose. Feel free to open your knees as wide as you want to. Send those hips back as much as you want. Maybe you're already using your props for a little bit of support right here. You can send your arms as far forward as feels right for your body today. So maybe you have your arms bent. Just work to begin relaxing your head down below your heart. You okay there, Uncle Buck? You're going to open those legs and bring the stretch a little more to the inner thighs and just hang out right here. Just a reminder that in yin, you're working to create as much stillness as possible. So if you find yourself coming into a depth of a posture that you need to keep coming out, then that is not the right depth for you. Take it easier on yourself. Come back to something that you can hold in, that you feel a noticeable stretch somewhere for the entire duration of the posture, which is going to be anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes for today's class. And just make sure that you're not coming out and going back in, because then you're really going to lose out on a big delight of what it is. Oh my God, I need a longer shirt. Include your eyes and your breath in this stillness. So work to create long, slow, deep breaths. Make sure that your eyes are either relaxed on one spot or closed, because if they're moving, your mind is moving. Total body and mind relaxation. 1 more minute here in child's pose. All right, next up we're going to come into down dog. So you can walk your hands in, move your prop out of the way. Keep your block nearby though, because we're gonna go right from down dog into a nice big lunge. But take 1 minute to just stretch it out right here. Find what feels good for you. Work to send your glutes towards the back of the room and bring your belly closer towards your thighs. You can bend your knees to make it happen. Maybe take a couple moments in the movement here, either getting a little bit more motion through your feet, coming up onto the balls of your feet, maybe pedaling your heels, maybe bringing your shoulders forward of your fingertips or shaking your hips side to side. Find what feels right for your body today. Just make some fun movements. Then go ahead, keep your left leg planted. Inhale your right leg up towards the ceiling. As you shift your weight forward towards your shoulders, start to draw that right leg forward. You might need to inch it forward a couple times as we come into high flying dragon. So drop those hips gently and press them towards the top of your mat. And you have an option here to either come down a little bit lower into low flying dragon, or maybe use your prop in your hands. Lift yourself up as much as you need to. Find a nice flat back. I'm gonna stay high in this high flying dragon and keep that weight shifted forward. So lots of weight in your front heel, squeezing through your extended left leg glute. Relax those shoulders. We got 1 more minute right here. It's normal, even while you're trying to be still here, that you might feel some trembling or shaking through your legs or even through your upper body, supporting yourself and staying lifted. Do your best to remain still in your mind and your breath. Enjoy those little trembles. You're just creating those new awakenings, using some muscles that maybe don't get a lot of long stretches or love. Create that space in your upper body. Just about 1 more breath here. On your next exhale, go ahead, release your back knee down towards the floor. Bring your hands down towards the floor. Bring your right foot back. Take a moment in just tabletop. Not in cat-cow, in the most flat tabletop that you can be. Take some breath into your hips and notice how your hips feel. Keep that eye gaze down towards the floor, gently in front of your fingers. So now tucking the chin to the chest or arching through the back of the neck. Let's come into the other side the same way. So go ahead, tuck those toes under. Send your hips up towards the ceiling again. Take a moment in that down dog while I tuck my shirt in. It's a questionable outfit choice, but it's okay. Keep your right foot down. Inhale that left leg up. Go ahead, start to shift your weight forward. Start to draw your left leg up towards your elbow. Plant your foot down towards the floor. Can you continue to keep that back knee off of the floor as we come into high flying dragon on the opposite side? So squeezing those glutes, shifting those hips forward, keeping your hips squared with the mat. Find that gentle squeeze of your shoulder blades towards each other, the draw in of your lower core. A nice flat back. You've got just over a minute left right here. Excuse me. Instead of focusing on the discomfort, focus on your breath. Use that inhale. You're aware, it might not feel so amazing right now. Maybe it's really challenging, and use your exhale as slow as you can to let it go, let go of the expectation, of the frustration, create extra space. Imagine breathing out the tension. Just about 2 to 3 more slow breaths, and then we're going to carefully return to tabletop. Take your time on your next exhale. Release your back knee to the floor. Release your hands to the mat. And bring your left leg back. Hanging out just in this tabletop. Make sure your shoulders aren't sinking up towards your ears, pressing into your hands, palms. Flat back, a slight little tuck of your pelvis. Engagement of the core. Once again, just breathe into noticing how your body feels. How do your hips feel? How do your shoulders feel? Do you notice any difference, any additional opening now versus when class began? All right, next up, you've got the next 2 minutes to create any stretches that you might need to address those spots that you just felt with some cat and cow. So think about really using your breath here in cat and cow. Your choice of maybe you want to just move on the inhale or just move on the exhale, or maybe you move on the inhale and the exhale. Remember, be creative. Don't feel like you have to limit yourself to just up and down. You can do what feels good to you. Maybe a little back and forth, a little side to side. Take your time, move carefully with intention. As those outwardly thoughts start to creep into your practice, come back to why you came to this class today. What are you trying to bring to yourself? If the answer is relaxation, tell those thoughts, you'll be back. I say, we know. We're not escaping reality. We're just taking a little time for ourselves to feel good. When you feel good, you're more productive. It's easier to stay focused. So practice right now just focusing on your breath. Even if it is as simple as slow inhale, slow exhale. If you're focusing on a slow quality breath, you don't have time to think about anything else. Just your breath and a gentle stretch. We're going to release ourselves down onto our sides, and this is where your pillow or your bolster is going to come into play, because we've got a side-lying banana. So come onto whichever side you would like to come to first, and place your bolster or your pillow or something to just, give you a little bit of a side body lift. And depending on how tight you are, feeling, or how much you've been sitting in a chair or working out, or maybe just personal stress, just lying on this pillow sideways might already be bringing a lot. Feel free to cross your arms, maybe use a block if you need to underneath of your head. If you want to, you can even extend one or both arms. Option to also play around with your legs. Bringing that lower leg forward and stretching through your toes. I'm a little limited on space. You can just bring a little bit more love into the top side that's getting stretched as well. We're going to spend 2 minutes right here. So finish your exploration and find a place where you can just hang out and breathe. Enjoy some sort of a side body stretch. If you did happen to come into any sort of a stretch that goes from being noticeable and awareness to being painful, then I want you to gently release away from anything that felt painful. 1 minute left right here. If you took any extension through your top arms, maybe wiggle your fingers, bring some blood flow back to your extremities. You can keep them up there, or you can bring them in to help you control yourself as you roll over onto your back, and then you're gonna press yourself up, and you can roll right onto your other side. I'm gonna be polite, and I'm just gonna twist to the opposite side. We'll spend just about 2 minutes on this side as well. Remember, both sides of the body are not the same. So find what feels good for you. Just grab that timer. Just getting that side body stretch, banana. Bringing the bottom leg forward and the top leg back. It's going to increase the stretch through those lower hips. Find what feels good for you and hold it right here for 2 minutes. Think about what stage of banana you are. When I worked at Starbucks, there were 7 stages of bananas, ranging from very green to incredibly brown. And they wanted us to use those super brown bananas at a point that to me was banana bread bananas. Anyway, the browner the banana, the sweeter the banana. So think about, a brown banana also being really mushy. Your body relaxing right now, just melting into the floor like a sweet, mushy brown banana. That's you. You're delicious. So versatile. Just a couple more breaths. All right, if those arms are extended overhead, wiggle those fingers. Take your time either rolling over onto your back or maybe just rolling onto your side. Press yourself up. We're going to come into Sukhasana. seated, any seated, easy position that feels good for you. If you come into the across-ish leg seated position and your knees are all the way up towards your chest, go ahead, use your prop. Sit yourself up on something, a prop. I mean, a cushion, a block, even a blanket is going to help you to relax those knees down to the floor. You can come into perfect pose if you like and cross things in even tighter. Just find what feels right for you, for your body today. We're going to spend just over 1 minute relaxing into our breath right here. Create some length through the crown of your head. Take this time to truly just bring the attention back to your slow, relaxed breath. Next, we're going to come into half saddle. So let's start with step. Go ahead, draw those heels in close towards the center line of your body. You can either use your hands on your shins, or you can wrap your elbows around your knees. Lift yourself up here. Let's open those hips one more time before we come into our half saddle. This is very similar to the position that you get when you're squatting. So I want you to take that rounding out of your lower back here, even if you're holding on with your hands, and draw your chest forward so that your shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other and then down your back. Sitting on your actual sit bones as opposed to rolling back towards your glutes. Your feet can be wider apart than mine. Just 2 more breaths. Great. Go ahead, extend on your exhale your left leg in front of you. I'm going to turn to the side because we're going to work on this half saddle and see if we can add some reclining as well. Grab hold of your right leg and bring your right leg behind you. Walk that right knee in, and do your best to have your 2 knees side by side. You might even need to reach your hand in and move your amazing thigh meat out of the way. Start to walk your hands back behind you. All right, so this might be the most that you can do today. This might already be hard. You might find you need to come back to a little bit of a forward motion. Try to take that rounding out of your back if you're forward. Finding that hinge of your hips and the length. If you are able to go back, let's see if you can release yourself down onto your forearms. Still continuing to press the top of your foot, your shin, stretching that knee down towards the floor, getting a big opening of the hip, of the quad, and a slight stretch that's coming into the knee as well. 1 minute left. You can relax your head back. You do whatever feels right with your head and upper body. Can you lift that chest? Create a little bit more of a bridge. All right, hands palms on the floor. Press yourself up 1 elbow at a time. Lean over towards that left leg, extend your right leg in front of you, hands behind you, take a big lift of that chest. Maybe even shimmy a little through those shoulders. Feel free to bob your legs, windshield wipe. Let's go ahead and get the same thing on the opposite side. So sitting yourself up, already working to take that rounding out of the back by hinging a little forward at the hips. So you find that hinge without walking your hips back, just drawing yourself forward, opening the chest and shoulder blades. Begin to engage. Leaning towards the right side, reach back, bring your left foot back, and then see if you can bring your knees a little closer towards each other. That's going to enhance the stretch on your quad. Maybe you need to stay forward right here. I did need to do that great hamstring stretch. Ugh, I messed up. It's okay, you don't know that. And if you can, go ahead and lean back. Come down onto those forearms, go for it. Remember, both sides of the body are different, so maybe you could get to the forearms on the opposite side, but maybe there's some tightness either in your hip, your quad, or your lower back that's a little bit more on this side, and you can't get your elbows down, and that's fine. That's fine. Just a couple breaths left right here. We're going to get a hamstring stretch on our opposite leg, which I forgot to bring to you on the other side, but we're going to add it in because we're worth it. All right, go ahead, start to walk yourself forward. As you bring yourself forward, we're going to shift the weight onto this bent knee. So really walk those hands forward, press yourself up, and then sink through your glutes. Flex your right toes back towards your face. If this is a little too much, bring your hands towards your hips. Stay lifted in this hamstring stretch, but still send your glutes behind you. You can use your chair, you can use my blocks super far away. You can use your blocks, maybe you have a spare pair of indoor sneakers that you use only when you exercise indoors. You use those for a little bit of a lift. Just a couple breaths left right here. Keep stretching through your extended legs, glute towards the back of the room. Awesome. Gently start to shift the weight forward. Bring your hands to the floor. Go ahead, bring your knees together. Take a moment here in tabletop again. Coming back to that proud, beautiful, strong table. Breathe some space into the vertebrae. Just notice once again how your body's feeling. Do you notice a difference from the start of class? Okay, let's come into that hamstring stretch on the opposite side. So go ahead, bring your left leg forward. Sink your left glute back towards the back of the mat. As you press into your heel and flex your toes towards the back of the face, you start to bring the stretch into the calf, into the hamstring. You can stay down there low. You can lift yourself up. Even if you're lifted, still work to send those glutes back. I think it feels much better for my body to stay low. Keep breathing. All All right, take your time. Go ahead, bring your front leg back, coming into tabletop once again. Just hang out in this tabletop. Couple more breaths, and then we're going to come into melting heart pose. So bring, similar to child's pose, but bringing the stretch a little bit more into the upper body and back. You're going to work to keep your hips stacked right where they are, and start to walk your hands forward. As you walk those hands forward, chest comes closer towards the floor. If you're really open, it's going to be easy for you to get your chest towards the floor, maybe even stretching your chin forward and keeping your glutes stacked on top of your hips. Otherwise, totally normal to start to compensate by sending those hips back just a little bit to come into a little bit more of a child's pose. Or think about using a prop under your chest. Can make it a lot easier to get that chest towards the floor, to still find that stacking of the glutes on top of the knees, which creates a bigger opening through the glutes than regular child's pose. Your version of melting heart pose, we got just about 1 minute and 3 breaths left right here. So remember, you don't have to be a hero, just coming into something that you can hang out in without moving for this final minute. Great work, y'all. Now we're going to walk our hands in, send your glutes all the way back towards your heels. Relax your head down towards the floor, reach your hands back towards your feet. Take a moment to really open those shoulders. Shoulder blades droop towards the floor. Really work to send that breath into your lower back for 1 minute in tadpole. Go ahead and walk those fingers all the way forward. Bring your body forward to meet them. Take a moment here in Sphinx. Bringing your elbows underneath of your armpits. If that's too much for you, make a pillow with your hands. Palms, relax your head down towards the floor. Just work to create some length in alligator, feet separate or together, whatever feels best for you. Spend 1 minute right here in Sphinx or alligator if you needed it. Take that tension out of your glutes. Allow that belly button to melt down to the mat. Feel that pinching compression sensation in your lower back. Take a big inhale. On your exhale, look gently over your right shoulder. On your next big inhale, turn back to center. And on your exhale, look over your left shoulder. Inhale, press elbows into the floor, lift up. Exhale, turn back to center. If you're not already an alligator, release yourself down towards the floor. You can even bend your knees, windshield wipe your legs, release any tension in that lower back. Let's take a spine twist on our bellies while we're here on our bellies. All right, go ahead, extend your arms out to the side in a T. Whichever side you'd like to roll over to first, keep that arm extended to the side. You might need to draw your opposite hand in just a little bit to help you bend that opposite leg and roll over onto one hip, tap your toe down towards the floor. Walk your fingers out as wide as feels comfortable for you and your body today. Find length through the crown of your head. And on your exhale, roll back over onto your chest. Use your inhale to lift yourself up, come onto the opposite side. Exhale to create as much length as you can in your spine twist, as much length through the crown of your head, as much length from fingertip to fingertip. And on your exhale, gently roll yourself back to center. Oof. Bring your hands, palms in. Press yourself up once more into tabletop. Spread your fingers really wide this time, like starfish. Feel some stretching between the webbing of your fingers. Pressing into your hands, palms, pressing your knees, your shins into the floor. Keeping some engagement of that lower belly. Give yourself a couple more cat-cows. Just a couple. Go ahead, cross your feet over each other. Cross your ankles. Walk your hands back. And then sit down on your glutes. Send your legs out in front of you. Shift yourself towards the end of the mat. Bring those soles of your feet together. We're going to come into a reclined butterfly. If you want to, you can bring some props with you if laying all the way down is not your jam. Feel free to bring as many props as you want to for this reclined butterfly. So you can get a little bit of a heart opener. Or you can simply lay down on the back and bring the soles of your feet together. If this feels a little too tight for you still, experiment with walking your feet a little further away. Notice how that gently begins to change where you feel the stretch in the lower half of your body. Do what feels good with your arms, with your head, with your chest, with your neck. All right, we're going to come out of this reclined butterfly. So maybe walk your legs in slightly, roll over to one side, carefully sit yourself up, extend your legs forward. You're going to follow up that back bend with the forward fold. So inhale with that chest coming forward. You can even reach your fingertips forward. Find as much length as you can, and then after you've found your length on your exhale, you can gently round down. Take 3 to 4 really slow breaths right here. On that next inhale, lift yourself up. Move any props behind you out of the way. Take your time and carefully release yourself down into your final Sukhasana. Feel free to open your legs as wide as you want to. Open your arms as wide as you want to. Maybe even choose to use a prop for a little yoga nidra. And bending those knees, really releasing the lower back into the mat. That sounds good. I'm going to treat myself to that. Come into your stillness here. Once again, or maybe for the first time during today's practice. Do one more scan of the body. Start from the tip and top of your head. Relax your hair. Relax your eyes, your eyebrows, your nose, your mouth, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Truly scan down your body 1 inch at a time. We're going to close class out down here on the floor in this final Sukhasana, where I encourage you to stay as long as possible. We're getting just about 3 minutes in together, but if you can stay for 5 minutes, for 8 minutes, the longer that you're able to relax your breath, to keep your relaxed breath, your stillness, to stay right here, the better you're going to feel physically, emotionally. So treat yourself. Remember that wherever you are in life, whenever things start to get a little bit challenging, that your breath is always there for you. You don't have to be on the yoga mat to slow your breath down, to feel better, maybe even the best version of yourself. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that I said or we did, I hope that you'll reach out. We'll actually be in the office on a hybrid schedule starting next week. You can catch it on the page. I pinned it as an announcement, or Fast Jump Fitness. Come say hello or don't. It's up to you. But till we do see each other again, remember to think good thoughts. Speak good words, eat good foods, do good deeds. Take the time to nourish yourself from the inside out. Give it to you because you're worth it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Know that the light within me honors season is so thankful for the light within you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank yourself for coming. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.